Hi, everybody. I think I just had, I can't position the camera. Who knows what's happening tonight? Hello. Welcome to Live with Georgia. How are you? I am running into the show and I haven't even positioned the camera properly. And look, you can see the canvas. This is just a beautiful sheet. When the last show is on May 29th, mark your calendars. We're going to have a great night that night. I'm actually still planning the night, but super excited to have the last 2 months of the show being fully committed to looking through the minor arcana and of the tarot, and also showing you and talking about, once you've learnt how to read the cards, right? Once you've learnt how to read, using one system like the Rider-Waite, moving to cards which are not Rider-Waite based. Well, these are, and probably these are, but how would you move from the Rider-Waite to the Though, right? Which is the deck that Aleister Crowley brought out just before. My hair is a mess. Excuse the way I look tonight. Right, this is the deck that Aleister Crowley brought out around the same time that Arthur Waite brought out his deck with Pamela Coleman Smith. Hi, everybody. Let me know you're here. Hi, Charlie. How's it going? Super excited to see you here. Super excited. Let me know if you're here. So I thought maybe the last two shows or one show, I thought we'd have maybe one show, looking at using all these different decks and me kind of talking about how you move from the Rider-Waite Smith deck to a deck that's illustrated completely differently. Because it can trip you up a little bit if you're kind of stuck on having learnt the meanings, and then moving to things like these two, which is the the before tarot and after tarot decks, right? So these are decks where the artists have taken a snapshot or have created a moment of time for the card. So the traditional Queen of Wands has her looking straight ahead. And I just inhaled some dust, excuse me. Oh, my goodness, so much dust. So, yeah, she's usually looking straight ahead at the viewer. The cat's looking straight ahead. So this is like a moment afterward. And then here, this is the before tarot, sorry. The before is the moment before. And here the after is like the moment after. So I might, on the night, coming up in maybe 6 weeks or so, I'll be pulling out cards from the before and after tarot to illustrate how people have, come up with these incredible ideas on how to play with the traditional Rider-Waite. Hi, Imran Khan. So, that's what we're going to do. And tonight we are reviewing the wands 1 to 10 of the minor arcana. So I'm really glad you've stopped by if you want to learn how to read the tarot. It'll be a night of reviewing the wands, where the wands have come from, what they mean. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get the canvas off. Hello, Shelley. How are you? Nice to see you. Irina, hello. I was thinking about you so strongly, Irina. Oh, my goodness. I have something for you, which I will send to you very soon. All right. You know what? We're just going to have to see the corners of this fabric. So tonight we are upon a new month. It is April. And because it is April and, well, I have yet to send the donation for the Wild Bird Fund that we collected during February and March, but we had 2 months. And I'm sure there'll be a substantial amount, and I can't wait to make that charitable donation on behalf of all of us. This month, what I thought I'd do, the last 2 months of the show, I thought that I would send the money that we collect, right? So every question, or anyone who wants a question, is $10 for a question. And I'll just put up the link so that you know how to, I think, here we go, PayPal and my website are the two best ways to get. You can also Venmo me, right? Here we go. This is PayPal and my website. And you just go to the shop on my website and you click on the Saturday Night Live $10 question. live reading, or you can pay through Venmo. My Venmo handle is at Georgia-Marantos. Oh, didn't spell it right. Here we go. And 100% of the proceeds during the month of April and May will go to the Friends of Creacon program. Now, this is a program very close to my heart. Creacon Wellness Retreat Centre is in Ireland. And as you know, most of the UK have been pretty much locked down for most of the year. And I mean, I can't say that I know exactly when, but they have a lockdown that's kind of non-ending. At the moment, they don't see the end of it. And businesses really, I mean, I don't think all businesses are struggling, but it is very difficult to, have an open-ended lockdown kind of sitting there waiting. And I want to support an amazing place that I have visited many, many times and experienced such incredible energy exchange. Like when I'm there, I feel still, I feel peaceful, I feel nurtured, I feel loved, and I feel loving. And it really slows you down because it's so close to nature. It's in County Wexford, this wonderful, wonderful retreat centre. And when we donate, it's not a charity, so it's a business, but this program of exchange is when we send the money in that we'll be sending, hopefully with your permission. I'll have everyone's name down who's bought a reading from me, and the energy exchange will be given in that when we participate in the Friends of Creacon program, we are able to exchange and receive and feel remotely the energy of Creacon. So we connect into Creacon. And so that's something that's super special, and I can't wait to share. Hi, Lauren, how are you? Hey, Georgia, Kate is with me tonight, and she would love a general reading. Oh, you bet. Have we got our first reading? Awesome. You love that pixie dust? Yeah, that pixie dust just went in my throat, tickling my throat. Awesome. So tonight, for some reason, I can't find my big cards. You can buy tarot in a tin. Isn't this awesome? It just means that when you're drinking coffee and you spill it on your, on your deck, you're going to protect it with the tin. These cards are a little smaller than usual. So if you're learning the tarot, you might have to squint to see some of the images. But, the images are still there. Clearly, these have a white border. The ones that I normally use are borderless. Georgia, I will get you after the call. No trouble. No trouble. So we'll pick a card now, right? Hi, Kate. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Irina. Thank you, everybody, for being here. In fact, Irina, who studied with me in November, and if you feel like pulling some cards and having a look at what's coming up, and we can talk about it. Hopefully this time I will. Sometimes I miss. Shelley says the fabric looks great. Awesome. It is actually my favorite color. And I love the Milky Way. It's a picture of the Milky Way. Charlie says, I purchased a reading on your website. Oh, Charlie, thank you so much. You'd love a general one. You bet, Charlie. It's coming your way right now. So did we get that straight? I kind of waffled around a bit, but essentially for the month of April and May, 100% of the proceeds, that is all of your $10 is going to go directly into Friends of Creacon program, connecting you to the energy of Creacon Wellness Retreat Centre in Ireland. And I have the link in the description below. So that's something very exciting for you to peruse and have a look at. And enjoy at your own leisure. And certainly, if I get a chance, I'll put the link in here too. In fact, I might have it. Here it is. I have it right here. There we go. Here we go. I have it right there. Awesome. So it's win-win-win, right? Let's pay it forward. I'm here. I must admit, I've been feeling a little under the weather the last 24 hours. I have a sore throat. But, sometimes when you run yourself down, your immune system is telling you something. So I don't think I have a virus or a bacteria or anything like that. I just feel like my system is a little bit run down and I need to look after myself. Does that make sense? So tonight maybe we'll tread softly. All right? We'll kind of use, we'll use the imagery of pixie dust and fairy dust and all those wonderful things that make you feel good. Spring is here. The flowers are budding. They're all coming up out of the ground. There's green, there's color, and very soon we're going to have a bursts of color in the trees. I just can't wait. So, Lauren, you're first. Kate's first. And Kate says that she would love a general reading. All right. So when I do a general reading, if you have become a member of Tarot Nerds, which I do recommend, it's a public group. There's like 40,000 people in the group from all around the world. But if you want to practice your readings with strangers who are also learning how to read, and usually you put up a post and you say, hi, I'd love to exchange a reading. Is anyone interested? And then you'll get someone from the Netherlands or whatever time you get on and someone's on there with you, they'll see it. And because there's so many people in the group, you'll always have a hit. Someone will always be interested in exchanging a reading with you. It's a really good way to read for people who are not related to you, who are not friends that you know a little bit about. And so you can really kind of practice leaning into your intuition and also reading the cards. And, it's wonderful. You often only exchange through the comment box or through private messenger if you make that decision. And I went live on Tarot Nerds talking about the past, present, future, or unlimited potential position spread, and talking about the way that I read it, meaning that the future is not set in concrete. It is being manifested as we speak here in this current moment. So when we're looking at the past, present, future, really the most powerful position in that spread is the present. The past will give you information about what you've created before. The present gives you information about what you're creating now. And do you want to continue creating that? And sometimes you'll throw a future position card and it'll show you what you don't want to keep creating, right? So you use that future card to give you information. So I do that all the time. And I did it with the group on Tarot Nerds and they loved it. So I might share the video just so people can see, because when you're learning to read the tarot, sometimes it's helpful to see how different people do different do the same spreads, not different spreads, different people reading the same spreads in different ways. And then you get to figure out which way you like to do it, right? And here we go. Back to Kate. I'm just going to center a little. Kate. Past, present, future. All of it's wonderful, Kate. This is the past, and it's a good thing that it's in the past. Who wants to appear tired and like you're dragging these big sticks around, right? And if you did want to do that, at least it's in the past and you know that you're not going to have to do it all again. So this is an energy of an ending. We're going to be talking about the wands tonight, right? This is the number 10, which always means an ending or a full culmination. So, or an abundance, an absolute abundance of something. And here he's walking with it. So it's an action card, and wands are action elements and fire elements. But in terms of a general reading, we can say that in the past, you've had, let's say you had either a project or a relationship or something that had ended, right? So that was in the past. Now, in the present, you've got a lot of success. So whatever you're doing at the moment, just know that there is, like, the sun is shining, that you are actually doing really well. And you probably know this, right? This is a card that when it arrives in the present moment, you really have to be feeling it on some level. For this to be a surprise, I'd probably say to you, well, how can you not know that you're succeeding so well? Everything's really well. People are celebrating. They're coming, they're sort of marching with you. You've got, a lot of love and healing around you. There's a wreath on your head. There's a wreath on your staff. You're holding your staff up high. So there's a lot of happiness and lightheartedness, and it feels that things are free and easy and everything is very even. And sixes, which we're going to learn, are very even numbers. And when you look at these suit cards and you go from 1 to 10, Numerology plays a huge role, and also, very importantly, whether it's an odd or even number plays a role. So all the even numbers are about balance, are about stability, foundation. They're about coming back into, some sense of order. And the odds are obviously the opposite, where you've got a little bit of struggle. Certainly the number 3 is a manifestation. The number 6 is also a manifestation. You've got the double 6. Sorry, not the 6. The 7, right, where you're going further. So, for example, the 7 is you've gone somewhere, but there's still more to go. Whereas you hit the 8 and you're really going. So that there's a different sensation that happens between the odd numbers and the even numbers. So even that's something to look at. But here you have a 6, and the 6 of Wands is a stable place, right? You're in a good place right now. And I'm sure you are nodding your head. Let me know, Lauren. Is she nodding her head? Shelley says, gentle, gentle, gentle. Thank you. Yes, time to be slow, Shelley. I feel this inside me, this sense of just slowing down, taking an extra step, even if it's just an extra step in there, when I'm usually kind of rushing. Of course, when you have an appointment, you got to rush. But making decisions, taking on big things, overstretching my schedule, I'm just going to take an extra step before I make a commitment. That's how I'm feeling. And that gentle, gentle, gentle feels just right. So, Kate, this is you. Let me know, Lauren or Kate. And in the future position, we have you as the Empress. So this is a wonderful, the Empress is a card that represents a mature woman, right? And it represents a you as either in a mother role or in a very creative role. So if we were looking at, let's say we were looking at work. Now we can look at this because we're only looking at a general reading. And in general, when I do a past, present, future, I do like to know if the person wants me to focus on career, finances, relationships, or health or other, right? Because you can do a general reading and keep it very general. Or here, I'm starting to feel into, is this a relationship or is it work related? So if this was a relationship, Kate can hear me now, good. So if we were focusing on a relationship, well, I would say relationships in the past had been quite cumbersome or a bit tiring, right? And currently there's quite a success in relationship, right? And here in the future, this to me represents a long-term relationship, like a main partner, because the Empress and the Emperor represent the Earth Mother and Father, the man and the wife, or the traditional partnership that sets up with its long-term partner, having a life together. And this is really quite beautiful. They're actually really great cards. If we were looking at a business or if we were looking at career, then I would say things are going really well now. And wow, there's going to be a burst of creativity because the Empress gives birth to anything and everything. She almost doesn't mind what it is that she's birthing to. She's just plugged in, connected, and the flow is coming through her. So Lauren says, definitely focusing on career relationships. So that's career relationships. So relationships in career. So Lauren, I'm getting confused because I normally separate career and relationships. So can you just clarify that for me? Is it career or relationships? Because again, like I said, with career, what I could do is I could actually pick another card saying, oh, this is interesting, high amount of creativity coming through. And I would even say with a career, this would be you coming up into a leadership role even, where you become like a creative director or someone who oversees projects, if that makes sense, right? Because I'm getting that sense of feeling of, although she doesn't have the kind of energy of the King of Swords or the King, or the Queen of Wands, she definitely has that sense of authority without any power relationship. So this is obviously someone who could lead career and relationships. So we'll do both, right? So what I'll do now is, because we have the time and because we can, so let's say this was the general one. Now, because we have time, I'll pull some cards out, and what I'll do is I'll look at the relationships, past, present, future, and the career, past, present, future, and see if it matches what we said as a general, right? Now, we're not testing the tarot gods because we don't want to do that. We don't want to jinx anything. Although I have been trying to get rid of more and more of my superstitions. So, but let's just dig a little deeper. And Charlie, you're next. So I know I know my people and which order they're in. So what we'll do is we'll do relationships first, Kate. We'll pick 3 for your relationship. And I like to focus on relationship when I'm picking them. Relationship past, relationship present, relationship future. We've got career past, career present, career future. So these don't relate. I mean, I must admit, in general, so as a general reading, and now maybe I'm beginning to look at these as spiritual overtones, as a general reading, right? Because when I put down, what I see is that there's some kind of change. There's some change happening. So let's have a look at the 3 that fell down for relationship. In relationship, we've got a 6 in the past, which was, a relationship that had moved from stormy waters to clearer waters. Now, this card for relationship in the present moment, I would say, hey, is there some kind of struggle going on? Because the 5, and the struggle is not always necessarily negative. Sometimes it's, quite a passionate sort of tussle. Does that make sense? Not tassel, but, a kind of a jaunter is the word that comes to mind, where we're kind of just like, oh, do you want to do that? Or, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to do this. And sometimes you need to go from a plateau stage into, like the next stage. So you may be moving from one level of relating to another level of relating, and you have to go through the number 5. That's another thing we're going to talk about tonight when we talk about the wands, because the number 5 is a card that's, a challenge or a change, because before then we've had stability. So everything goes like the odds. 1 is the beginning, 2 is the choices, 3 is the manifesting, 4 is the stability, 5 is the change, the challenge and the change, 6 is success, and 7 is building upon, right? And then you have, this is the future in relationship, is what you have is temperance. Now, we talked about temperance not so long ago. This is the Arcana number 14, right? Lauren says, so spot on. Thank you for validating that. Temperance says, as number 14, which is again a number 5, but as a number 5, it reminds you a lot of the 6 of Swords, or 6 of Wands, where there's a balance again. What's happening is, what you're bringing into your vibration now as we speak is a sense of having, let's say you've moved through, or you're moving through this now, and you're going into a place of, hang on, let me just sit back. Let me connect. Let me come back into a place of peace in my mind so that my emotions can settle. And why do I say emotions? Because you have the emotions and water going from one cup to the other, and they're being poured quite beautifully and almost exact, but those cups remain connected. So just know that you will always remain connected to your emotions. You are grounding emotions because there's 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground, really important. And temperance means time, tempering. Something needs to, in some ways I'm almost thinking of what Shelley said about gentle. This is This is kind of the opposite of gentle, where you're really kind of using your energy to move things around and kind of shift things. This is a real shifting card, in a very positive and sometimes negative way, but really it's a shifting energy, and it's necessary for success. Right? You can't just rely on everything always being smooth and dandy. If you want to grow, you need this kind of energy to grow. And so what we have here in the future position, or the unlimited potential position, is a place of balance and slowing down and tempering the emotions. And what you've done is your mind, you can see that the angel has become enlightened. The third eye is wide open. There is a glow around the head, which means that really we're connecting to spirit. This is an angel. It's an archangel. And the archangel is telling us about the energy of this archetype. And we want to imbue ourselves with this archetype. And this is the future position. And I really feel that it's probably pouring all over you now. You're manifesting this. This is your manifested state of enlightenment. Because where you want to walk the path of is, you want to learn from this experience and you want to move on, right? You want to move on. So that's the relationships one. Let's have a look at career, because, the relationships and the career. So why would we so let's have a look here. So this is past. So this is with respects to your career. You either had to make a decision or you weren't sure about the career that you were in, right? And had to go deep into your intuition. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Sometimes when we stay too much in our mind, we can't tap into our intuition, but this card is encouraging you to tap into your intuition, right? There's a moon. It reminds us of the high priestess and her magic and that beautiful blue, the beautiful nurturing blue, that if we tap into our intuition, we're guaranteed to nurture ourselves with the information that we find, right? So that was the past. At the moment, there's big change. The Good Home Company, Christine, hello, how are you? I hope you have your cards ready. If anybody feels like pulling a card and helping out here, so this is for Kate. So the Tower, right? So the Tower means there's something huge has changed in your career, right? Either you've been moved out of your comfort zone. This is the Tower is the card that moves you out of your comfort zone, right? You're asleep, very comfortable. You are no longer asleep with this strike of lightning. So I would have to say, because the Tower is a major arcana, if you were sitting in front of me, I would say to you, what on earth is going on? What has happened? Because it feels big, right? The indecision, or there was a choice needing to be made, and then the Tower happens, and where are we moving towards? So the Queen of Cups is encouraging us to make sure that so what I have here, I picked another card for the Queen of Cups. Why did I do that? Because I'm seeing her and I'm concentrating on this beautiful cup, right? Have a look at her. And look at this cup. Look at it. It's just extraordinary. She's holding what looks like, it looks like an angelic ornament. There are angels surrounding this cup. It's highly adorned. There are symbols of animals on it. There's a beautiful cross at the top. There appear to be grapes. It's a very, affluent and abundant cup, highly adorned, one that would be sitting in the closets of, clearly, royalty. And when you see it, you think, wow, what is this thing that she's looking at, that she's adoring, that she's loving? So I see that in the coming future, so you are pulling out of all of the unlimited possibilities right now. You're pulling something. You're like, I really love to do this thing. And when I pick the Page of Pentacles, these two cards really do echo one another, because the Page of Pentacles talks about a new study, looking at a new job, and in terms of career, there's a new opportunity coming through. And I believe when the two of these together, really feel very strongly like there's a new opportunity coming for you, and you're going to love what you do, because she's adoring this cup and it's really special. Yeah, huge shifting. And also what's coming is really good. Sometimes we're doing work, or we're in a particular situation in our career where we're not really doing what we really love to do, or we're kind of doing what we love to do, but we need that extra push to go into. Sometimes or we're kind of doing what we love to do, but we need that extra push to go into. Sometimes you have to lose your job to do the thing that you love, or you have to be fired, or there's something at work has to say, well, something's really not quite right here, right, with this card, where things are like, oh, holy cow, what just happened? And here we are. It's like, oh, that's what happened. So once you come to this place, you'll say, oh, I understand why I had to move through this, because it's all clear now. I love what I'm doing now. And if I've always loved to do something, these cards are encouraging you to just go for it. Lauren, Kate, if I had you here, we would probably see if there was one of those that you wanted to jump into a little more, but we're here, we're live, and we've got some more things to do. Let me know. Thank you. I wish you the best, both in your relationship and your career. It does still look very positive. Interestingly, the first three, the general reading, the success card, why would the success card come up? It's almost like a trick of spirit to say, well, you might think that things are shifting in a kind of difficult way, but actually, overall, you're meant to be doing this. There's a sense of, change for stability to come. How can change and stability be together? Because I think it was that before. We need to be challenged to get to that place sometimes where we know we're going to be even happier with ourselves. That's what it feels like. All right, huge shifting, Lauren. Well, Charlie girl, it's your turn. Christine, if you've got some cards with you, feel free to pull them out. Tonight we're studying the wands, 1 to 10. Lauren says, it makes perfect sense. Thank you so much. Good things coming. And that bigger picture, that bigger sense. We were watching a hawk flying in the afternoon. It was probably around 4 o'clock. It was flying over the car park where the children and I and my husband were looking at this beautiful hawk. And it just started to, it started low. It must have come from a tree. And then it started to circle. Oh, excuse me, I'll just shut the door. Oh, excuse me. I have to pull something up from the door. Thank you. This beautiful hawk was circling, and it started off low over the car park and then just started going high. It was doing a spiral, right? And the spiral was going up and up and up, and we just kept looking. Then eventually it had gone up so high that we couldn't see it. We couldn't focus on it. It was extraordinary, and it was so graceful. And that's what I think of here, Lauren, when I'm talking about that general reading that we got at the very beginning, which had the 6 of swords with 6 of wands present in the middle, and the 6 of wands was saying, hey, everything's fine. So this is when we say, this is when the mantra, like, everything is actually always working out for me. Everything is working out. I know it is. I trust it is, because we're going up to see the bigger picture. We're going up into this third dimensional thinking where we're like, oh, it's so easy to get caught up in the humdrum of all the details, right? But if we can, like the hawk, spiral up into the higher ground and look at everything, from below, and look at everything below and say, oh, well, clearly it needs to do this before it works out exactly as it should, right? Yeah. So, maybe hawk energy is something to tap into, the spirit messenger. I do have some cards. The King of Cups popped up. So, Charlie girl, I'm going to keep the King of Cups out. I know I was just talking to Lauren, but I do feel that I'm shuffling now for you. So we're going to keep him. He popped up. He kind of flipped over. Let's take a little step to stop, slow down, take a breather. Charlie, I'm going to do a center of the Celtic cross for you, which is essentially, as a general reading, there's a card that represents you. On top of that will be the card that crosses you, or that is like a challenge at the moment. There'll be the card that's conscious, the card that's unconscious or subconscious, and then what's before you and then after you. That's the center part of the Celtic cross. So we're doing that one for you as a general, but essentially it becomes quite a full reading. And if anybody wants to donate wants to pay for a question, 100% of the proceeds tonight will be going to the Friends of Creacon program. I will take down everybody's name, and there is an exchange of energy when you participate in the Friends of Creacon program. So I will, at the end of the month, I will put our donations in. 100% of tonight's 100% of tonight's proceeds will go to Friends of Creacon. And when I send the money in, I will make sure that everybody's name goes on the email so that you're connecting consciously to the wonderful, nurturing, loving energy of Creacon Wellness Retreat. So everybody wins. Charlie. We have the King of Cups here. We don't know why he's here, but we're going to keep him up there. We're doing a general reading, and we're going to do the center of the Celtic cross. Sound like fun? Hey, Mary. How are you? Of course, it's not too late. Absolutely. Please make a payment. Venmo, PayPal, Georgia Marantos at Gmail. Venmo handle is Georgia-Marantos. Has a picture of me looking like a mafia thug. A Don. All right, here we go. Charlie. We're doing Charlie in the center, Charlie challenge, Charlie conscious, Charlie unconscious, Charlie past, Charlie future. All right, Charlie, I think you need to book in for a reading. Let me tell you why. I've only done the center part of your Celtic cross, and out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of the 6 cards, 5 of them are major arcana. Now, I'm just joking. Let me just tell you. So it just means that you, at the moment, what's happening with you, for you in your life is that you're moving through these major archetypes, right? It's like, wow, I've never seen so many. Here we go. So this is you as you are in the world right now. This is a fantastic card. Actually, it's really positive, so don't worry. But I just wanted to say you're in a really good place. You're in a really good place, but this is big. It's like maybe this place that you're in right now is a place that you haven't been for a long time. Maybe all the work that you've done on yourself, or all the energy and sort of care and love and attention that you've given yourself and your soul are really coming to fruition, because they're great cards, right? The World card. And this is you as you are right now. And whenever this card turns up in a reading, whenever I receive it, it just means you are in your element. You have come to a point in your life where you are doing and being as you wish to be doing and being. This is the card where, for example, the astrologers say, oh, your sun sign is Libra, for example, me, your ascending is Aries. I'm using myself as an example. Well, you start off your life as an Aries, and then your goal is to fully become and fully flower into your sun sign as a Libra. So this is the flowering card. This is the card where you come into the full expression of your soul's being in the world. You are fulfilling your prophecy of the mission of you in the world. I hope you can feel it. This is an amazing card. It is the last of the major arcana. It's number 21, right? Just before we get back to the full, it's the ending, but it's the fulfillment card. It means that everything is turning out just as you wish it to. Now, what challenges that, right? What challenges that? And we have the travel card, the Chariot, right? Moving forward card. So to me, this feels like a travel card. This feels like a moving of freedom, a sense of freedom card. So for me, maybe there's a sense of what's happening in the world with COVID at the moment, and all these restrictions feel restrictive a little bit. I kind of see you in this chariot, but it feels more like a cage. So remember we were talking about how to read the upright cards as seeing their positive aspects or their negative aspects. So this is the first time that I've ever looked at the Chariot and felt constrained. But let's have a look at the Chariot. Here is this guy, right? I'm going to pop out. There we go. Here is this wonderful being, gorgeous being in a chariot. And if you look at the way their waist or their skirt has disappeared into this, what appears to be a concrete slab. I mean, it's odd, isn't it? It suddenly becomes a little strange. Like, what has happened to this person's body? It's just disappeared. Look at it. Can you see that? His body's disappeared, or her body's disappeared. And there's this, this feeling that, well, where is this person's legs? Where are they? And how is this person actually going to get moving? Because the Sphinx are not actually. So despite this card being a movement card, it's reading a stillness. So Mary says, sent it through PayPal. Wonderful. Thanks, Mary. So this world card, and the challenge is, how do I get out of this place of feeling like I'm not moving? Okay. Can you relate to that? And on your conscious mind, right, there is maybe father or partnership. Now, Emperor represents, remember we spoke about the Empress, and she represents mother, another, any aunt, mother, grandmother, partner, any female in your life. Here, the Emperor represents father, grandfather, any other male presence in your life. It can be cousin, any kind of relation, really, really very important relation. Family member, but can also represent the energy of the Emperor. So I would say in your conscious mind, you're either thinking about a father or a relative or a person, right? Or you're thinking about, how am I structuring my life? Or how can I what foundations am I setting down now? What do I need to do now to move forward in my life now that I feel like I finally arrived, right? How do I create a foundation around myself so that I can be stable in this arriving? Underneath, unconsciously, there's a lot of healing going on. So this is good news, right? Oh, excuse me. I've just got to, hold on. I think I can mute this. Oh there it is. We only have one bathroom, and we have two children that need to use it, and my husband's gone now. So excuse me while we have a little bit of a thing happening. So let me just recenter, coming back into the. Okay, what we have is the star, and this was in the unsubconscious position. So all that healing, all that work that you've done beforehand is still underneath, and it's brewing. Well, you're balancing this. The star and the temperance are very similar, and they come after periods of unrest. Prior to this card is the moon card, and in the moon card we've got all those animals rising up with their emotions and their things that they have to say. And the star is all about tempering this, and about bringing healing into this, and about bringing emotional healing and grounding, and being naked in nature and connecting and being one with source in nature. And so this is a really beautiful card. So this is the unconscious influence. You may be conscious of it. Clearly you're conscious of it. We're talking about it. But this is the validation card, that all the healing that you've been working on, and all the projects and things that you've done on yourself, which we mentioned earlier in the world card, right? These two are connected with the number 8, right? There are 8 stars, and these are 8 pointed stars, and the 8 pointed stars are again very balanced. You've got north, south, east, west, and you've got all the northeast, southwest, all the directions are being respected here, and the connection to the Native American medicine wheel, right? So I get a lot of, see these new buds, these plants. So everything that you've planted, all the seeds that you've planted, they're growing. Do you see this? See those little, I'm just going to disappear and see if we can get them to appear again. Oh, there they are. Do you see the little flowers growing in the grass? I mean, this image, this card reminds me of spring, and how you have little flowers and everything's budding out of the ground. So you need to know, this is a validation again from spirit, that what you've been doing, everything that you have been working on is starting to, you're starting to see the results. And it's in the ground and it's growing, and very soon these flowers will fruit. You'll get the fruits of your labor. It's wonderful. So this is the past, which is the Wheel of Fortune. That was change, right? You've been through a big period of change. All of these major arcana tell me that these are big, big, big movements, big sort of influences in your life. And where you're moving toward is this place. So this is the only minor arcana in the spread. And why am I going to talk about it? So you're going to come to a point where you are going to learn how to find balance in your life, right? And doing one with the other. This is a number 2. All the 2s are about balance. If you look at the 2 of Wands, this is someone who's making choices about what to do. He too is making choices. Should I dance? Should I sit still? Should I make a move? Or should I stop? Should I do what I'm doing? If I do, well, there's a sense of this infinity symbol is very important. So it's important that we also talk about his outfit. So he's wearing what looks like a dunce hat, right? And there's a lot of passion. He's also traditionally, it's thought that this is a Sufi dancer. Now, the Sufi and Sufism is a religion where people, it's a very beautiful religion, very gentle religion, where people are finding the balance within themselves. They're connecting to God through the balance within themselves. And so this Sufi dancer is not losing his balance, right? So you're coming into a period where things that previously would have had you off balance no longer have you off balance because of this, right? So don't be afraid. This is the part of the reading that we'll finish up on. Don't be afraid of what's coming up, right? And as you move in life, don't bring the past into the present moment, because you've hit a whole new level. This is you in your maturity, right? You are doing as you wish, and you have worked hard for this healing, and you're going to be able to handle it. You can handle it. I do, she says. Wonderful. And one card to top that off, the 8 of Wands, which is awesome because we'll be talking about the wands really soon. I'll be pulling them all out. The 8 of Wands is another fast-moving card, another balanced card. Look at them all moving in the right direction, in the same direction. There's an abundance of action. So as things speed up for you, because I feel like you've been in a lull, right, where this has been happening, the change has happened in the past, but right now you're enjoying this period of stability or quietude, right? And then you're moving into a time where things are going to pick up for you. And as they pick up, remember, I used to get overwhelmed. I don't do that anymore because I have worked on myself. So wonderful, wonderful news for you. And I wish you the best, Charlie. It's all making sense. Wonderful. I'm so happy. Really positive things to look forward to. And how does this relate to the King of Cups, right? Relates to the King of Cups because his energy, this king's energy, is all about riding the waves of the emotion and not being toppled by it. I've often talked that he's sitting on a slab of concrete and he's not sinking. He's floating on the water. And the King of Cups is often a counselor or a doctor or a healer or someone who is capable of holding their emotions in while they deal with other people's emotions. So he's a master of emotions. And so that's what you are, right? You've become a master of your emotions. And as you move into, events that happen in your life, emotions won't take over as they used to. Isn't that wonderful? I would wish that for everybody. And isn't this the point of meditation? Oh, I'm so happy for you. So happy. I'm really glad that we figured out how the King of Cups worked in all of that. Because those cards that jump out, for those of you who do read for yourselves and others, the cards that jump out are relevant. And if you pick them up and you bring them back into the reading like we did today, it becomes obvious why they've popped out. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to take a little break to drink some water. A moment to encourage people to get to the Friends of Creacon program, to have a look at what that's all about, because the money that you're sending in tonight will be an exchange for you and for all of us to connect with the healing energy of Creacon Wellness Retreat. And I'm really happy to be doing that. We support Creacon, and in return, Creacon supports us, and it's a win-win for everybody. So, Mary, this is for you. Mary says, you'll do a pull, Georgia? Wonderful. Christine's going to pull a card. And who are you pulling for? So let me know. You pulling one for Charlie? Mary, I'm coming to you now. You're being harassed on your part-time job. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. I found aggression, undermining actions against me. Will it resolve in my favor? This sort of thing has happened to me before. Okay. So let's center. I'm going to connect to Mary. This is the situation. So, Mary, thank you. Oh, yes, I will pull a card for you, Christine. Absolutely. So I just got a card and it's making me think. So I want to come out of my thinking and I want to pop back into my intuitive awareness. This is the card that I pulled for your, and it feels very general because I wasn't specific when I pulled it, and I will be specific and I will pull other cards, but I just want to keep this card here. It's just telling me something about you and abundance and your relationship to abundance. And really today, when I talked about the hawk, I knew it would be relevant somehow when it happened. You know, not only as a message for my own life about seeing that hawk spiral upwards and go higher and higher and have that higher perspective, as eagles do, as all those high-flying birds do. But this is a falcon, and falcons similarly can fly to great, great heights. And in fact, I think the falcon is the bird that has the greatest speed at being able to fly down. I mean, I think they can fly down faster than airplanes fly forward, something like 238. I'm making it up, but it's like 200 kilometers per hour that they are able to fly down and get their meal when they're looking to eat. So it's interesting that I'm focused on this bird at the same time as I am on this woman and figure and all of her abundance, right? And this feeling that I have about balancing out within yourself, right? The trust and belief that you have access to this abundance, right? This is worthiness. This is the abundance that is here for me in the universe. So this is a very general, this kind of like just picked up general. Now, what does that have to do with the situation that you're specifically asking me about? Well, let's pull some cards and see what it has. We don't know. We just pulled that card and there it is. It's sitting there as a general overlook. So with the situation at work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it as a relationship spread. So Mary, you studied with me on Saturday last week. So I know that you know and are familiar with all the tarot cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a relationship spread. Now, we didn't get to practice all the different spreads. I think we may have done past, present, future, and a few other spreads, but we didn't do this that I'm about to do, which is a relationship spread. And what I do is it's pretty straightforward. So I pull one card for you, right? And then I pull one card for this situation where you're being harassed, right? So this is one card for, let's say, the actions that are coming against you. Now, I don't know if it's one person or many people, but we're just going to put down one card for that action coming against you, because you, as Mary, are relating to that, which is these set of actions that are happening against you, right? By either one person or many persons. There are two that want to come out for that, right? And then I'm going to look at what's consciously happening and what's unconsciously happening, so that we can look at, there are things that you're going to know about this exchange between you and the actions that are happening against you, and things that you won't know, or at least you probably have thought about, and have probably bubbled up to become conscious, but you may not be fully conscious of them. And we're going to ask the tarot for that, right? And so that will be conscious, and then we're going to look at outcome. We're going to look at how's this going to work out, right? And again, when we look at outcome, we're looking to pull from the unlimited possibilities an outcome that suits you. Presumably that would be for this to stop, right? So let's have a look at what we're pulling out. We're going to do conscious you, unconscious you, conscious the other party, unconscious the other, and let's have a look. Outcome of this situation, this relationship. Okay. So consciously, I don't need to go on. This is you consciously. It's hard work having to deal with all this harassment, right? There's no doubt. We would know that, if we had to guess what you were thinking, this is what you'd be thinking. This is damn hard work, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to keep working in a situation like this. Unconsciously, right? And this is the influence in this relationship and in this relating. Well, I didn't give you here. This is you. I think you're almost looking for another job. You're like, how do I get out of here? How do I stop this from happening? Right? This would be you. I think your cards are understandable. The unconscious position for you, right, is the Three of Cups. You'd prefer to be having fun, wouldn't you? Of course, we all would. We want to be having fun at work. We want some lightheartedness. We'd love to be surrounded by people who we consider friends, or at least a friendly energy, right? So this is the unconscious. These are your desires, I feel like. These are your desires. Now, this other party has a lot of stuff going on. In fact, there are three major arcana for this, either person or persons. They got two cards. They got the Sun and Death. So this person or persons, the supervisor is doing it. So this is one person. So this person is going through some massive, massive change, is what I can see in their life. Clearly there's been some transformation for them, massive transformation, because you don't go through what appears to be a scene of a plague without it affecting you. Now, have they come out the other end? I don't know. And there's a very black and whiteness here, right? So this person feels like they're very black and white, right? In that, here is one card, which is an ending, and here it's almost like a new beginning, right? Hi, G. Thank you for subscribing. I saw your subscription. Thank you so much. It's not too late. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I'll be taking donations right up till, let's say, 20 minutes before I end, and we've still got another half hour. So that's absolutely perfect. So this is your supervisor. So I would say tapping into your supervisor. This person is much older, has been doing the job that they've been doing for a very long time, may have a bit of black and white thinking, maybe also a little bit burnt out, going through some major, major change, and also may have like a split in their psyche, which has nothing to do with you. actually. This it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not personal. This is the other thing. It can sometimes feel personal because it's happening in front of you and around you, but it's not personal. Now, this person is clueless as to how their behavior and their thoughts, words, and actions affect other people. So this person is not conscious of that. But I do see that it's going better. So in an unconscious way, this person is actually improving. Now, whether or not that improvement, because we were talking about their own journey here, right? Their own journey. They're going from stormy waters to calmer waters. So whatever is going on for them is getting better. So that if you're kind of copying, if you're kind of the collateral damage for whatever this person's going through, because they have 3 major arcana, then this card is the promise of some improvement, that they're moving from having been trapped in this kind of, awful place in their head to a better place. And when we look at the future card, what are you creating? What is coming? I see a much positive card. To me, what's coming is some kind of justice, some kind of truth, some kind of, you look at the Knight of Swords, and we're going to study the Knights in a few weeks. And the Knights are always highly motivated, passionate fellows who really want to get the job done. Now, sometimes they overshoot the mark. Like you can imagine the Knight of Swords is overshooting here because he's like really going very fast. And if he had to make a sudden stop, he'd probably fly off the horse. But I do feel that there's going to be some clarity arriving. And let's have a look at how long that's going to take. Let's look at 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Wow, you've got some great cards here, 4 weeks. Definitely within the month, but I think there may even be improvement week by week that you're going to see. I think you're right on the precipice of this changing. This is what I'm seeing. I think that because I see that. And I feel that when these cards come up, this is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. Now, when you left the workshop last week, thank you very much for the $12 somebody sent. Absolutely. I'll be sending that into Creacon. So here's 4 weeks. So definitely by 4 weeks, it'll be much better, right? And this is 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks. They're all major arcana. I have to feel like your travel to that 4 week of it being totally different is going to be like, oh, it feels better and better week by, after every week, it's feeling much better. So I hope this is giving you a bit of a positive uplift when we look at that. So why do we now pull this card and say, how is this 9 of coins or pentacles related to this reading? Because I feel, this card, everything is always working out for me. I have what I need, right? I have the resources that I need, and I have the support around me. You clearly have support from spirit. That is 100% guaranteed, because I know that you did the course with me last week, and I know that you're connected very powerfully to spirit. So when we're connecting very powerfully to spirit, we have to consciously remember that they support us. They support us. And when we ask for their help, they send it. Why? Because they're in 100% communication. I'll just close the door, excuse me. Spirit is 100% in communication with source. So they're far closer energetically, vibrationally, to connect with source than we are, because we have the sort of the, we have the distractibility with the physical senses, and, we hear something and we're like distracted by that, or we're much more likely to be in our minds because we're living life and potentially not slowing down. I mean, we are always wanting to slow down. So this says that source is supporting you, spirit is supporting you, and you want to recognize that you have the support in the physical too. And whenever you are pulled down into that low vibration, right, of the splitness here, just remember that spirit wants to take you up and help you see the higher, for you to get a higher point of view, which will uplift your soul so that you're not feeling like you're right in the thick of it, in the darkness of it. Oh, gee, you sent $12. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. So, Mary, does that feel right? I feel like we really kind of put it all together. Mary says, I know I'm not supposed to say things like this in a spiritual environment, but she's just awful. Oh, you can certainly say that in a spiritual environment. If we can't call a spade, then what the hell are we doing anyway? We should just pack it all up and leave. I know I'm not supposed to say things like this. Yes, say it. She's just awful. And I have been wondering why I've attracted this again. You're giving me hope. Yeah. You haven't attracted it. It's actually just, I tell you what it is, Mary. You are distracted by it because of, what you have attracted in the past, because it's an old vibration that you're not connecting to anymore. It's just annoying you because it's an old story. But the cards were very, very positive around it improving and around your capacity to see the higher picture, because the first card that popped out was this one. And she's very, very comfortable. She's very much at ease in her world. And I feel that represents you. You've seen darkness. You've seen light. You're connecting to light. And once you've seen both, the Buddha promises that enlightenment is not that far away. And enlightenment promises bliss and peace and full acceptance, right? And walking the earth lightly and regardless of what's happening around us. And that is, for all of us, something to aspire to. And for it to be right here for you is a blessing. It is a blessing. It is hard to be around people who are really horrible. It's very, very hard to be around people who are horrible. So let's ask just before we leave, let's ask a practical question of spirit. We did use the analogy of the falcon that goes up, right? And the hawk that I saw that goes up. What else can you do? What can Mary do to find that higher ground, especially in the moment when someone's being really awful, right? Around you, toward you, right? What can you do? This is practical. Now, this is a card of kindness, right? So for those of us who have been traumatized, abused, and understand that on a very deep, sort of in a deep way, this card is, a very nurturing card. This card is about giving and receiving. These people, there's no doubt surely in your mind that this person who's acting like this, your supervisor, has in fact been traumatized. And if you and as you come into a place of healing around your own journey, you can find compassion for this person who's been through, maybe what you've been through, worse, or maybe not as worse, but, clearly is challenged and is challenging others unconsciously through their unconscious behavior. Can you find that place of compassion? This to me is the card of compassion. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't draw the line and say, absolutely not. This behavior is unacceptable and I'm not going to accept it. It is not okay to speak to me like this. It is not okay to treat me like this. There's a line in the sand, right? So on a 3D level, you are absolutely valid. It is valid that you draw the line. You say you cannot. It cannot continue. I am a human being. You're a human being, and we need to treat each other respectfully, regardless of who works for who, and who is under who, and who does what to who. Right. So there is the line that must not be crossed in your own being. Right? Can you find compassion for this person? Once this is happening, now obviously if the situation is so worse that you want to leave the workplace, that's clearly something you make a decision to do. If you stay in the workplace, there appears to be some improvement in this person's capacity, because whatever they've gone through, the cards are indicating that there's improvement, right? At least within the I think we were doing week by week, the month. I sometimes forget when I'm, continuing, but if you have a look at this card is in those moments, remember to be kind to yourself first, and then in your heart, find the compassion. That doesn't mean you have to do anything to this person in the physical. You don't need to go and give them candy or flowers or make them feel good. Your responsibility is to yourself. And this is what this card says. So this card is about being kind to yourself and about finding compassion, not only within your heart for you, to have created the circumstances in which this has happened again. Well, I chose this job, or I stayed longer than I wanted to, or I chose this section, or who knows how our mind goes. We're often giving ourselves a hard time. This card is about being kind to yourself, right? Gentle, gentle, gentle. And about finding that place of compassion within you for you and forgiveness for you, right? For ourselves, for being in this situation, and for finding our way. Because once we connect into forgiveness, and for ourselves, once we can love ourselves, we're connecting to Source. And in connecting with Source, we bring through the energy that manifests that which we want, which is a job where this is not happening. We're we manifest, whatever desires you're shooting off. Like, I want to work in a job where I'm being treated as an equal, where I'm being respected, where my work is valued, where I matter, where I make a difference, right? Where I'm needed, where I feel useful. Those rockets of that desire, then what you do when you connect to this place of compassion and self-love and self-forgiveness, you allow those opportunities to come your way. You allow the doors open, and suddenly you get a phone call from someone saying, hey, I've got a new project coming up. Want to join me on this new project, and I can pay you XYZ. Why not? Who knows? It's the law of attraction, and you're attracting through your vibration. It's the law. That's what they tell us. And if we move out of the way by coming into communion with our own divine connection, then we are well on the way to manifesting that which we want. Mary says, definitely no candy for her. Oh, yeah. If you feel it is not being something I actually attracted, that really gives me hope. Yeah, absolutely. Because, yes, I've had a lot of darkness in my life that I've indicated to you. Yeah, no, this is not a setback. This is you actually coming to a point where it's changing. You are creating the alchemy of change for yourself, because you're coming into that vibration of a connection with Source and love. It's changing. I'm so happy for you. Wonderful, Mary. So, G. And now, G, hold on. There is Christine is ahead of you, and then I'll do G. So, Christine, do you want a general reading? Do you want a general reading? Let me know. I'm actually working, this is a secret, but not a secret if you talk about it. I'm working on a soul card deck, and I can't wait. It's just I'm bringing through imagery and symbolism, and it's just something that I'll be working with myself. But if I find that it works, then I might sort of print it and make it available. Because I find, you often don't need 78 cards. You just need a few cards. And sometimes the principles of what it is that we talk about, there's only a few, really, that are the guiding lights for our everyday life. If we think of the teachings and the high spiritual teachings, when we bring them down into daily life living, there's only a few. There's only a few that we really need. Do we need 78? Yes. Why not? We've got them. We use them. And I'm going to see what I can do to create something wonderful and beautiful and new. So this is for you, Christine. Christine gets this card. Oh, Christine. If anybody here knows Christine, they would know that she is the Ace of Cups. You are connected so powerfully, my dear, to your heart chakra, to the divine. All your actions are divinely inspired. You're motivated. Your passion is for the enlightenment of all human beings. Look at this. Look at all these yods, these little leaves that are falling into they're not leaves, they're little bits of energy. It looks like fire, but it's actually the symbol for the name of God falling from the sky, but really kind of tufting around this hand that's coming out of the cloud, and this is representing spirit. But we have the Holy Spirit, the dove and the wafer, the body of Christ, right? And so there's a Christedness that happens here, a Christ consciousness. This is the Christ consciousness is in your heart. It's been planted. And what you are about is about bringing balance, not only into your life, but into everybody you talk to. And through your emotion, through your emotional motivation, this is what you bring to the world. And isn't it wonderful? Look at the lily pond that's there. From the muddy waters grows this exquisitely beautiful flower that everybody around the world loves, right? This is a lily pond. Will it focus on the lilies, please? There they are. Can you see the lilies growing in the water? And it's a vast ocean of them because it's the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is just dropping this. We're dropping the card. That you're an overflowing cup. What else can I say? Christine, I hope you're listening. So, Mary, I missed some of your, did I miss some of your, oh, no, I didn't. I think we got it. This is your next card, Christine. I hope you're listening. The Hanged Man. Now, here we have the Christed cup, the Christ consciousness cup. Now, I use the Christ consciousness. You may not be religious, or I don't know what your religion is, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith, they use a lot of Christian Hermeticism, a lot of symbolism to indicate certain symbols. And this T is the tough, and this was the cross that Christ was crucified on. Now, when we say crucified, what we say is that you've come into a state of balance, because this is the crucifixion also. See the wafer that has the cross on it, and the cross is fully balanced. You have an absolute meeting of the masculine and the feminine into the center point, right? As above, so below. And you have everything on the spiritual plane, everything on the physical plane. So this is the spiritual plane, this is the physical plane, right? And we intersect right at that 0 point, which is a connection to source. And so this is also Christ consciousness to me. You know, when you turn your perspective upside down, sometimes you get the best information you've ever had coming into your head. This is the yoga pose, the headstand or the shoulder stand, basically upside down stand. And you are out of your head, in your heart, and you are leading a Christed conscious life. So we all need to follow Christine on Instagram, and her handle, I think, is the Good Home Company. Christine, if you're still here, please give us your handle and let us know how we can find you on Instagram. And so what else can we say? Here you are playing the bowls. I know you play the singing bowls. There is the cup. The cup, the symbol of the cup, was grown out of the Wiccan and the pagan tradition, where we used cauldrons. Actually, even before that, in the medieval times, they would use cauldrons to cook the food, to cook the medicines. It was a source of heat. It was a source of, clearly, nourishment. And so everything is falling out of this cup, right? Meditation. This is your life right now, Christine. So in terms of a general reading, you're being encouraged to keep doing what you're doing, to come into a higher spiritual, bring down the consciousness of spirit through meditation, through the chakras, right? And we've got your heart chakra, the thymus chakra, or at least the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra, and the crown, right? And remember, this is the one that keeps you grounded. The Buddha touches the earth with his hand in the statues, but it was said that he touched the earth and said that the earth is his witness. So that to give the understanding that, yes, we are spiritual beings in a physical body. We're in a physical body right here. Yes, we're going to experience the difficulties of working with people who are projecting onto us, right? Touching the earth means I'm grounded. I'm right here, right now. I'm not escaping anywhere. I'm not escaping into this window of like, believing that everything's just going to be better. No, I'm making it better. I'm making it better because I'm doing the actions to bring my thoughts, words, and actions into alignment with the I am, right? I'm doing what I can through my conscious thoughts, words, and actions, right? Okay, so G, I hope you're still here, Christine. I hope you're still here, but let me know, and you and I can connect over Instagram, and I'll follow you up. G, here we go. We've got 10 minutes left, but what I'll do is I'll make sure that we go through all of the Wands cards. We've almost picked up all of them. I think maybe the 9 of Wands we haven't seen. We haven't seen the 2 of Wands. We haven't seen the Ace of Wands. Have we seen the 5? Yes. The 6? Yes. The 7? Yes. The 8? Yes. G, you are here. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I'm doing your reading now, and I believe you wanted a general reading, right? You want to pull the card. Here you go. So why don't we do this? G, I'm going to pull one card for you. Oh, such a great card. One card for you and the world and how you relate to the world. Oh, so good. Do you really need a tarot reading? But today, because you are donating, well, you're not donating, you're paying in exchange for a reading, and that money will give back to you because it's going to go into the pot at Creacon, and you will have an exchange through the Friends of Creacon program. So, G, can you please email me your full name? Oh, email me, Georgia. Just your full name. So this is not me trying to get you on my email list. This is me just getting your name so that I can make sure that I put your name down at Creacon for the money that you've, or I think I may even get that on the receipt for when you pay. So that's fine. You don't have to email me. I'll probably find it in the payment. So this is you. Wonderful. This is a great card. We've had 2 aces, right? For 2, obviously, very incredible people. This is an opportunity, but it feels to me like you're just on the right path, G. Whatever you're doing right now is right for you and for your future. You're connecting with spirit. You're moving in your life, connecting with spirit. Look at these lilies. They're just singing. They've kind of grown up out of the ground, so tall. They're as tall as this, fence that is kind of guarding the area around which you're in, but sort of leading you through this open path. This path is leading you through, and you're passing through these white lilies. So I would say that you are a spiritual person, that you do think and feel and act spiritually, or at least want to and desire to, and that you're walking in a path in your life. This is a whole new way of being for you. And how are you relating to life? Well, you have the Page of Pentacles. Look at that love. So, there's a sense that you're a very open and very loving person, and you love life. This is an influence that is around you at the moment. Would I be picking these cards up as a general reading if it wasn't that it was you? I don't think so. These cards represent someone who has come into a space of healing for themselves, is in touch with nature, is in touch with your own nature, and is loving life. Gee, are you laughing? I hope you're laughing. I am here. Yes, you are. This is the card. These are the cards that say I am here, right? Absolutely, I am here, and I'm loving it. Hi, Neo Puritane. Thank you for coming. I'm taking $10 for any questions, although we've run out of time today, but thank you. There is magic in the tarot. Let me talk to you about it. So it depends on your definition of magic. So when I talk about magic, it's really about manifestation. It's really about wanting to look at a moment in time and manifest that which you desire through your thinking, through your conscious connecting, through your vibration. So what I have is this tuft of spirit here. This tuft of spirit. There's really, the only sin is believing that we're separate from God, and there's no separation, absolutely none. And when we're talking here together, I don't see anything but love. And what we're encouraging one another to do is to connect in love, right? And so I invite everybody right now to spend a moment in their heart, connecting in love, and sharing that with everybody who's here right now. And see yourself connecting first and foremost to the love within you. And that's spreading out to everybody that's here in this group. And everybody comes together and we rise our vibration up into the knowing that all is well. And G, you are here. You're very, very grounded and very spiritual. I'm not sure if you wanted just validation, because I feel these cards are really validating you in your being and in your life path. This is you walking a life that is spiritually led and connecting with your soul connection. You see this big staff that the hermit carries? Martha, hello. This big staff that the hermit carries is a connection that takes us from the heavens and the higher realms into the earth. And you see that this staff is actually stepping right between the hermit's feet. Here we go. I just wanted to focus on the hermit. And you can see that this golden staff is, there we go. Maybe the camera's tired. Here we go. Let's get closer. There it is. So this is the wisdom of you on your path. That is everything that you've learned up until now, all the knowledge, all the understanding that you've put into practice through your own experience. And this lantern that has the upright and downright triangles, as above, so below as above. And what we have is the understanding that light leads the way. All of your wisdom is gathered up in this lit lantern, that we are following the light and the love within us. And that's you. That's you walking this path, loving life and loving being in life and loving connecting with life, connecting with others in a loving way. So this is really wonderful. The coins and the pentacles represent a completion. You have the 5 elements in the pentagram: the earth element, the fire element, the ether element, the water element, and the water, earth, air, fire. Wait, I always do this: air, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. 5. Right, so that we're in total balance. And actually, when you're just one element, so for example, if you're really passionate about something, and that passion is kind of pushing over into and spilling over things and kind of burning other people in its path, what you want to do is you want to balance that. You want to balance that with some, with some water, or make sure that you have enough, that you're grounding enough out of that passion into the water, taking dips in the ocean or having a shower, or, doing something to calm that passion down. If it is that all of that fire is kind of spreading out around you. It's like that person that's at work could probably do with more of a water element. G, I'm going to pick one more card for you. And this is kind of like a coming card, right? Because your current position is really beautiful and wonderful. So the coming card, oh, look at this. We've got the 5 of Wands. So I'm now going to pull them all out. So here there's actually play, right? Now we've had this card before. This is the meditation card and the 7. So we've now almost got every element. We do have every element. Look at that. We've pulled all the elements. This is the earth. This is the water. This is the air. And this is the fire. I was literally just talking about. So you are coming into a place of balance in all the elements because you're very spiritual. And in that spiritual elevation, that's the ether element or the space or ether element, which is governed by the throat chakra, right, which is where compassion lives, love and compassion. Remember that Christ consciousness. And what we have here is a balance. So you're moving into a time in your life on this path. As you walk your path, you're going to be very, very balanced. And you're going to be balancing through the elements. So we're almost at a close, but I want to talk about the wands because it's just so good. Thank you so much, Mary. I'm going to pull the cards out and we're just going to walk through them. I've pretty much covered almost all of them. The 1, there's a 3. We did see the 3. What we didn't see was the 2. I did talk about the 2. So in the next 5 minutes, we'll just cover them. Thank you, everybody who has come tonight, everybody who's contributed. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, G. So nice to meet you. Thank you, Irina. Thank you, everybody. And I know there are people watching who don't say, and I do often have giveaways. And I must admit, I've forgotten to do my giveaways recently. But I will have a giveaway next week. I'm just getting back to people for some of the giveaways that I've given before. So the mantra art cards, the sacred art that I do, I've been posting on Instagram. I love painting watercolor. Here they are. So 1 to 10. Whenever we talk about 1 to 10 in the suit cards, we're talking about these cards. So 1. 1 is a brand new beginning. Doesn't matter which suit you're looking at. 2, choices. Should I go or should I stay? Remember, the wands are fire energy and action energy. 3 is movement. You're manifesting movement. You're manifesting action because we are the fire element. So fire and action element mean movement. 4, finding stability, foundation. So this is a traditional marriage card. And it's a celebration. And there are wreaths and there's abundance. And it's really wonderful, right? And here, the 5, we have the challenge. We have the changing energy. We have that kind of rustling, that kind of like, the butterfly has to struggle to get out of its cocoon when it's ready to fly. But that struggle is this 5. The 5 is that struggle of the butterfly that needs to struggle to get out because its wings won't work unless it struggles to get out of the cocoon. People who have interfered with the butterfly coming out of its cocoon as it's meaning to break free and be birthed into this transformed self, if anyone interferes with that process, the butterfly's wings don't work. They can't fly. And what do butterflies do but fly until the end of their life, right? Once they've come out of the cocoon. So this struggle is necessary. Or never worry if you see the 5 of wands. And the success card that comes after the struggle, you understood why the struggle was there. He's sitting high on the horse. The 7, you get the work to come. Oh, okay. We just need to, I started this action. I now have succeeded in a part of this action. I need to go back to the drawing board to kind of figure out, well, hang on, why is this happening? Why have I got these sticks coming up out? What is this about? What's coming at me right now? And that not knowing is bringing this person into a place of, hang on, let me just go back to my original goals and start making sure that I'm knocking everything on the head. Did I really want to achieve this, this, and this, and this? And have I achieved it? And kind of taking stock. This is a taking stock number 7, right? Number 8 is totally moving forward because you've taken stock and you're like, okay, I've planted all the seeds. They're all growing. I know which direction I'm going. There's a lot of energy. I've created abundance. 8 is the abundance number. 9 is the okay, now I've really gathered up a lot of actions. Now, sometimes this is the card of kind of burnout, right? Look at this guy. He's been using these wands. He's leaning on the stick. He's a little bit tired. And this would be when you would start bringing in some other of the elements. Oh, okay, I think I need some water to kind of calm the fire energy down because I'm getting tired. And 10 is the ending. Nines. So nines are always a fairly, it's almost like the culmination of the energy, and the 10s are the ending of the energy. Right? That's the 1 to 10. And every week we're going to go through 1 to 10. Next week we'll do 1 to 10 of swords. And the wands and the swords have a yang energy or a masculine energy because they're a little tougher and they're a little bit more challenging than the cups and the pentacles are. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight, for coming in, for participating, for sending in your $10, 100% of which will go to Friends of Creacon. Look them up. I'll be here next week. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I'm on @GeorgiaMarantos3. I will have a giveaway this week sometime. Just look out for it. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be. And mark your dates. The 29th of May is the last day for my live show, and we'll be doing free readings and some other stuff. I'm not sure, but we'll be doing some fun things that day. So make sure to come to the finale. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Bye.